Hey everybody, it's Master Gallengeist here, bringing you my review for Avengers issue 12. And I like that this was kind of more of a transitional issue, getting us more kind of set up with the back end support that's going to be helping the Avengers and also setting up more for the conflict to come with the vampire civil war. So this issue starts off and we see T'Challa talking with Jarvis and how Jarvis is kind of getting older and would rather stay in Manhattan than trying to be in Avengers Mountain and trying to clean up a Celestial and everything. He even comments on how it's a little bit strange that they're in a dead body, but that's what the Celestials did in raising the progenitor, to kind of like honor him and let the Avengers use him in a helpful way to help protect the world. And of course, T'Challa's like, no, I need a team to do what you kind of did. He's like, yeah, so let's kind of get into it. And we transition and we see the first recruit that T'Challa is talking to, and it's the Gorilla Man. And I really liked what they did with the Gorilla Man here because I was not really familiar with his character. And come to find out, he's got like all these people after him because there's this legend of the Gorilla Man, you kill him and you live forever. But they usually gloss over the part that once you kill the Gorilla Man, you turn into the Gorilla Man, who won't like get sick or die unless somebody else comes and kills you, and keeps that going on, lamenting this fact by saying that he has attempted to get blackout drunk but can't. And he's like, no, I'm not here to kill you or do anything like that. I kind of want to offer you a position. He's like, oh, okay, what's going on? Why didn't you say that before? And one dude comes in and says, hey, why don't you settle my town? He's like, hey, I'm an Avenger now. He's like, not quite what we're kind of going for here. But I have something different in mind. He's like, okay. We shift over, we see that T'Challa's got a repurposed helicarrier, and he's talking with Janet Van Dyne, the Wasp. And, of course, it's interesting that he's going for her, and she's like, why don't you go for the newer model? I was like, well, I kind of want to take the S.H.I.E.L.D. concept and take it forward, because she's like, listen, if you're trying to do S.H.I.E.L.D. again, we usually, the Avengers, had to clean up the messes that they made. He's like, nope, not trying to do that. I would rather have someone who was there at the beginning, and I'm like, yeah, T'Challa's smart that way. Granted, he doesn't want to do the same things that S.H.I.E.L.D. did, the same mistakes, but yet there's certain things that you need to be like, okay, Janet understands how this espionage field works, understands the tech aspects, and all that kind of thing, and how to gather intelligence, and it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. And we then see him conferring with Okie and going through and just being like, okay, these are the kind of people that I'm looking for. And he's like, why do you want me to deal with all this? And she's like, well, I want you to be the director. So she's the director of the Agents of Wakanda. We shift over and we see her kind of conferring with another agent that they want this agent to get intel on Atlantis and everything that's going on down there. Lists off all this kind of cool gear that can be there, but he's like, nah, I don't need it. And it's a Kazar of the Savage Land, and it's like, he just goes in with a knife, no breathing apparatus whatsoever. I'm like, yeah, badass there. That's pretty kind of cool. Getting back to Avengers Mountain, we see that somebody has come in through the teleporter, and of course, Gorilla Man is the chief of security, and immediately he's like, halt! Who goes there? Kind of stuff. It's like, well, he's at least doing his job, but of course, T'Challa comes and says, nope, this is someone that I wanted to come along. He's like, I've invited them here for essentially an interview, and starts running through all this kind of stuff with them. It's like, oh, this is in the heart, and all the kind of teleportation stuff that goes along with it. There's like, how about the circulator kind of thing? Like, I believe you just named it. And then he's talking about how he got this dude's information, how Tony Stark and Kitty Pryde agreed that he's pretty good at what he does, and it's Brew, one of the people from the mutant school, and that they want him for the IT. He's like, oh yeah, let me do all this stuff. I got you here. Which is pretty timely because we can see that Janet is kind of in a predicament and is trying to bring an asset home, but is being attacked by vampires. She then gets in contact with Brew and is trying to figure out how to get rid of them. And of course, they kind of buzz off of a satellite, kind of knock a few off. But he's like, oh, don't worry, there's an agent in the area that'll be able to lend an assist. And we see that John Jameson is that agent, the Wolfman, and he just comes in and starts slamming into the vampires. I'm like, thank you, T'Challa. You understand kind of the support structure that the Avengers need. Of course, you're always going to want your heavy hitters in there, but with the agents that he needs in the field to gather all the different intel, it's cool that they've got Morbius the Living Vampire that they could potentially be bringing in, but Man-Wolf for the kind of supernatural aspect is great. Kazar for the Savage Land, Mutant Connections, Gorilla Man for just his kind of interesting kind of left field is like, oh, okay, that's a kind of another mystical kind of part. He's just getting a lot of different people with a lot of different skill sets and trying to make that work in this organization that he's creating. And I'm like, yes, there you go. Pretty kind of cool. But they get back and, all right, how's this going to work? We get some other people that are being introduced as we see American Eagle, Dr. Nemesis, Fat Cobra. It's like, oh, okay, these are some kind of different people. We'll have to see how these guys work it out. And we also see Ross Solomon, who we get more in-depth knowledge of her Agents of Wakanda kind of stuff in a Thor issue. And she's like, oh yeah, she talks about it. And it's like, oh, if you want to know more, read the Thor issue. But we get into the kind of, we almost transition towards the end of it, but before we get to that, T'Challa was also conferring with Odin in this issue, and it's kind of cool to see this aspect, because these are two characters that you would not normally think would talk with each other and confer with each other. He's kind of a unofficial advisor to T'Challa, and it gives him more intel about the Shadow Colonel and the whole vampiric civil war, and he tells T'Challa to be careful because he's missed these visits. He would miss these visits if something was to happen to him. And I kind of like seeing that aspect of Odin. He's kind of world weary. He's just sitting in old Asgard and trying to understand what to do with this kingdom, while T'Challa's like, okay, you've got a lot of wisdom, you got a lot of knowledge. Help me make the best kind of decisions that I can to make sure that the world doesn't blow up in like the next day or so. But with that information, he kind of gets over. We see that Kazar gets back to the mountain with the intelligence that he has had. Cap is really impressed that this is like first-hand intelligence, and T'Challa says, hey, I've got agents everywhere in the field. But he's like, listen, we got to really focus on this whole Vampire Civil War thing. I want to have a new Avenger added to the roster, and that's when, of course, Blade interrupts, says, I'm Blade, we got to kill a lot of vampires. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm down with that. Sounds like a vampire fights and everything, Avengers included. Yeah, you had me at Vampire Civil War, but let's just keep going, because I'm like, all right, sweet. So I'm glad that we're going to have this thing in the background where with T'Challa doing the whole Agents of Wakanda thing, OKA doing her stuff as the director, and it'll just add another kind of cool thing going on while we've got the Vampire Civil War, the whole stuff going on with Atlantis, and everything with the whole superheroes communities around the world. So there's a lot of good plates spinning, and Aaron seems to have a good idea of where to focus and when on this. So I can't wait to see how all these different things interconnect and interact with each other, and where this is all going to go next. So those are my opinions on the issue. Tell me what you guys think in the comments below. If you liked it, if you didn't like it, if you agree with me, if you disagree with me. Also like and subscribe, and I hope you have a good day.